Good morning. Happy Monday, January 11th. Today we are officially transitioning from our Native American unit. So we talked last week a little bit about a lot of Native American tribes. Okay. We also spent the week before break talking about early American civilizations, but now we're going to find out what happened. Okay. So we do know that, like with the Aztecs and the Incas, that explorers came and that kind of changed their tribes and their societies. Okay, well, let's talk about what happened when the Native Americans meet the explorers. This also includes those ancient civilizations like the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs. But let's just talk about their viewpoints and kind of what happened. Okay. So in 1492, the first European explorers arrive in the Americas. That would be Christopher Columbus. Okay, and he arrived in the Caribbean. This year changes everything for the Western Hemisphere. Okay, so when these explorers start arriving, Christopher Columbus was just one of the first guys. So many that we're going to talk about this week. The Native Americans had already settled this land thousands of years before. Thousands. Okay, they believed that the land belonged to them. All right. So what else did the Native Americans think? They had very little written records, so they had most of their history was verbalized in stories. You need to know that in a little bit. Okay, just keep that in mind. They adapted their lives to whatever the land had provided for them. So if there were buffalo to hunt, they would hunt those. If it was a good crop season, they would obviously plant more crops. Okay, they respected nature too, is something that we learned last week. They spent a great time paying homage to nature and thanking nature for all the gifts that it gave them. They had many different languages, religions, social customs. Think about all the tribes that we talked about 12 different Native American tribes last week and four ancient American civilizations before break. Okay, guys, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We didn't cover nearly as any, if in the large scheme of things, um, tribes. Okay, so because all these tribes were different and they spoke different languages, they weren't organized at all. They were just smaller parts. Okay, they were their own little separate entities. Keep that in mind. Okay, again, they had very little written records, so things were verbalized. Okay, oh, this is the same stuff. So the explorers. The explorers, how did they feel? They thought they were actually racially superior to these Native Americans. They believed that they were uncivilized, they couldn't read, they couldn't write, they were dumb. So the Europeans thought they were better than them. They thought since they were white and they sailed for their countries that they were racially superior. They also viewed the natives' clothing and agriculture, their practices, their weapons as primitive. They believed that they were centuries behind them. Okay. They saw the natives as uneducated. They believed they were dumb. They didn't think they were intelligent because they couldn't read or write. The explorers thought their religion was the only true one. Okay, so many of them were Christians or Catholics, and they believed that these Native Americans were just wrong, that their religions were not valid, that only theirs were. Okay, they were heathens because of this in their eyes. Okay. Some things that they did agree on. The explorers still wanted to find gold. That was their main goal when traveling to the Americas, and they wanted to trade goods with the natives. The natives were also interested in all the goods that the Europeans had brought with them to trade because they brought such different things. I think that both of these groups saw each other and saw what each other made and brought, and they were, since they're from completely opposite ends of the world, they were amazed that these things actually existed. So they did want to trade. Due to their customs, the natives were friendly to the visitors, which is shocking, especially since we know what happened, okay, to them. All right, the explorers eventually, though, wore out their welcome, okay? They just took and took and took and took, and the natives, they officially decided that they wanted the explorers to leave the land. But the explorers had already dug their claws into this land, okay? They had already claimed it for their country. They already wanted to make their country happy. They were fighting, so then that is when the fighting began between the natives and the explorers, with the explorers usually winning because of their better weaponry, okay? The natives, guys, have lost so much because of this. So here's my big thing for you guys to think about and discuss. Who do you think was right in this? Okay, that's what I want to know. And if you want to say that they're both a little bit right, okay, that's fine. If you would like a couple bonus points, then please just email me your opinion on this question, and I will give you some bonus points. If you have any questions, please let me know.